Hello out there. If you are actually viewing this on Friday the 14th, happy Valentine's Day to you. If not, happy belated Valentine's Day whenever you watch this. So, you made it to the end of another week of English 111. Good work. I really appreciate the feedback I'm getting from you all in your checkpoints and in your emails. I feel like we're for the most part pretty connected, and I think that is helping a lot. I did want to mention too that if at any time you want to set up a video conference, I'm happy to do that. I know sometimes students will come to office hours, but not everybody can do that because of your schedules, driving, car availability, all that stuff. So if a Collaborate session works for you, I'm always happy to set one up. So I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing this week, the big project we're getting ready to start for the rest of the semester. Can y'all believe how messy my office is? Is this not just awful? I'm spending way more time grading than I am cleaning and filing and putting things away. Maybe that'll be a spring break project or something. So I've got two screens working here. So let me pull up some things for you all over here. All right, so this week, you've just finished up your ad evaluation, or I know a few of you are finishing them up right now since I bumped that deadline out. I am already working on the ones that came in early. It's going to take me a while to grade these. I've turned around most of your stuff pretty quickly. It took a little while on the journals. These are going to take a little bit longer just because they're longer. I've got more stuff to give feedback on, and I do want to make sure that I give you all thorough feedback, so just be patient with me, please. All right, so this week I have a research essay overview for you all to take a look at. I have some readings in the text for you all, not too long. There are library activities that are designed to help you get started with your research. Please do complete the library activities. A lot of times students sort of skip past them, and maybe they don't realize that there is an assessment at the end of each of those activities. So please do the activities and complete the assessments. You don't get multiple tries on the library assessments, okay? Only on the quizzes that I've put in the course, the stuff that the librarians put in there. They are, you are getting a grade for that in my class, but they're also using it for their record keeping, so I don't have those set up for multiple attempts. So then what you'll be doing is getting started on preliminary research, and to me this is the most fun part of research. So for your research project, the research project will culminate in your research essay later this semester. So what you're going to be doing is, first of all, brainstorming a topic for research. I encourage you to go with a problem solution approach. Students, I think, find that to be an easier way to tackle what feels like this big project. So I ask you to choose a topic, and we're in what I call, this is really appropriate to talk about on Valentine's Day, we're in what I call the first date phase of this process. So you can look around for a topic and you do some preliminary research to decide if you want to stick with that topic, right? It's like first date. You don't know if you want to have much to do with this person or not yet. You're going to ask some questions and find a little bit out about it. Now, in preliminary research, you can look all over the place for information, okay? I think most of you are familiar with the fact that we tell you to use scholarly sources for research, but in the preliminary phase, you can go check out Wikipedia. You can read some magazine articles. You can look at some basic news articles just to kind of help you get a feel for your topic. You might want to talk to some people and bounce some ideas around. Now, the topic you choose needs to be something that you're interested in. It needs to be something that you don't know everything in the world about already. So if there's some topic that you've been researching to death for a couple of years for some other projects, you might want to put it aside for right now. I don't want you to get bored. We're going to be working on this for a while, and I really don't want you to get bored. If you're interested and invested, the research process will be a lot better for you. So once you have gotten some preliminary research out of the way and decided you want to commit, then you'll start working with your topic. But for right now, just think of some potential topics, and I've actually included some suggestions in your folder for this week, and they're just suggestions. You're not limited to these in any way. But I do want you to avoid emotional hot button topics. We're working on logical argument, okay? This is not a time for us to bring in a lot of emotion. This is not a time to make religious arguments. You don't want to focus on something that's really just a matter of opinion either. So let's look at some topics that you can approach rationally and logically and use good, solid academic research to discuss. So this week, all you really need to do is get out there, find some potential topics, do some preliminary research, post to the discussion board, do your readings, complete your checkpoint. In the following folder, which you don't have access to yet, but I'll be opening it up later this afternoon. I'm trying to get everything just right before I give you access. There will be an assignment for a topic proposal journal. And then after that, you will write a position paper where you examine two sides of the issue. You're not making your own argument there. You're just doing some research and examining the different sides of the issue. So that's where we are right now in the class. I hope that you're excited about the research project. A lot of you have mentioned a tendency to procrastinate, which is totally normal. I am a procrastinator myself. Look, see behind me, look at that. That's procrastination right there. And I have worked really hard to create your research assignment in a way that will prevent you from procrastinating. I've made it hard to procrastinate with this assignment. So make sure that as we move through the project, you complete each of the assignments. This is not a situation where you can skip 2 or 3 of the pieces and then jump in with the research essay in the last minute. I'm not letting you do that. I'm trying to make this a process that's not stressful on you. I understand where you all are in your academic career, and for a lot of you, it's a very stressful time. Some of you talked to me about that in your checkpoints. For some of you, I feel it coming through in the emails. So please trust my lead on this and complete each assignment in the way I have it laid out. You can work ahead, that's okay, but make sure you go in order. That's what's important here. So another thing I wanted to do, I want to talk a little bit about sentence structure. You all had those quizzes with the feedback links to the Little Seagull Handbook, and I hope that those were helpful. A lot of you said that they were. But I wanted to jump in and talk about a couple things with sentence fragments because I know that some people still had some questions. I've had a few emails. So I'm going to pop a whiteboard in here and talk to you all a little bit about sentence structure. So, I think you all know from back in the day, your old school grammar lessons, that a sentence has to have a subject and a verb, and it has to have end punctuation, and it has to be a complete thought. Right? These are the things we need to have a complete sentence. All right, this is just your basic complete sentence. But one of the things that is easy to forget is that grammatically correct does not necessarily mean long. The grammatical correctness of a sentence does not typically have something to do with its length. And here's an example I like to give students. I don't think we have anybody in the class named Bubba, so I always default to Bubba as my sentence person. So if I say Bubba left, I'll often ask my class, hey, is this a complete sentence? And students will say, no, it's not. And I'll say, why not? And they'll say, well, it's just 2 words. And I'll say, well, that doesn't matter. Do we have a subject? Do we have a subject? Yes, we have a subject. Bubba is a subject. Do we have a verb? Yes, we have the past tense verb left. Now, this sentence doesn't tell us a whole lot, but it's a complete sentence. Bubba left. So then, if we add after to the beginning of the sentence and we say after Bubba left, we no longer have a complete sentence, do we? We don't. What we have then is a dependent clause. You may have also heard this referred to as a subordinate clause. Now, you can call it either one. They're both grammatically correct. They're both factually correct. A dependent or subordinate clause needs to lean on a complete sentence. And a complete sentence is often referred to as an independent clause. And that's exactly what it sounds like. An independent clause is independent. It can stand on its own. Bubba left can stand on its own, but after Bubba left has to lean on a complete sentence. After Bubba left, the party fizzled out. Okay, so you see we have a complete sentence here, and the party fizzled out, and we were able to lean after Bubba left on that sentence. If you have a dependent clause at the beginning of a sentence, you would use a comma. This is one of our comma rules. In this case, the introductory element is this dependent clause. With me so far? I'll pretend that you're all saying, yes, we completely understand. All right, so there are a lot of reasons we end up with sentence fragments. Sometimes we're drafting, we're in a hurry, we kind of feel like one sentence led into the next, and we just don't catch it on our proofreading. Sometimes we use what are called verbals instead of an actual verb. So we might use an ing verb that doesn't actually work as, or an ing word that doesn't actually work as a verb in the sentence. But most of the time what I see are just these dependent clauses that have been left alone in a sentence. And sometimes you'll see me even comment on that, you know, sentence fragment, connect to previous sentence, or fragment, connect to next sentence. So be on the lookout for those in your writing. It's usually because we have a word like this at the beginning of that clause, and it has made it into a fragment. So, another problem that we run into are run-on sentences. So a run-on sentence is when you have two sentences that are improperly joined, okay? So, poor Bubba. Bubba left the party. We ate all his birthday cake while he was gone. All right. So here we have a run-on sentence, okay? Bubba left the party. We ate all his birthday cake while he was gone. So usually when I ask students, hey, what should we do about this sentence? They want to put a comma in here. Now, the problem with putting a comma here is that you then get a fused sentence or a comma splice. A comma splice is when you try to hold two complete sentences together with just a comma. That isn't going to work. That is not strong enough to hold together two sentences. You have to have a coordinating conjunction. And a lot of you know those as fanboys, okay? You might remember for, whoops, and, nor, but, or, yet, so, okay? So, maybe here, Bubba left the party, and they're called coordinating because you have to pick one that coordinates with the sentence. You can't just throw one in there. You have to make sure it's correct. So you have a comma and then a coordinating conjunction. Bubba left the party and we ate all his birthday cake while he was gone. You could also maybe say, so we ate all his birthday cake while he was gone. Now, you could, if you preferred, create an entirely new two sentences. You could use a semicolon, get really fancy. A semicolon can be used between two complete sentences that are closely related. Again, you can't just go willy-nilly throwing semicolons in sentences. But a lot of times when you have a run-on sentence, that run-on sentence happened because they were very closely related ideas. So here, we could use a semicolon. If you wanted to get extraordinarily fancy, and I think this is way too fancy for this sentence, but I'm showing you how to do this stuff, you could use a semicolon and a conjunctive adverb, one of those fancy words like therefore, however, moreover, and then you would use it after that. Bubba left the party. Therefore, we ate all his birthday cake while he was gone because we were terrible, terrible people to Bubba, right? All right, so we can use a semicolon. We can rewrite into two sentences. We can use a semicolon and conjunctive adverb if you want to be super fancy, or maybe we just rewrite it into one grammatically correct sentence. Maybe we'll say something like, we ate all of Bubba's birthday cake I can usually type unless students are watching me. After he left the party. We ate all of Bubba's birthday cake after he left the party. Poor Bubba. So a nice revision there. So there's not just one way to fix a run-on sentence. There are a lot of ways, and there are different ways that you can work with sentence fragments as well. So here we picked up another comma rule. Comma before coordinating conjunction to join to complete sentences. Whoops. All right, sorry. I made a mess of that. But anyway, you get the idea. So that's a quick and dirty review on fragments and comma splices and run-on sentences. All right, so let's see. Let me come back over here. All right, so I hope that that helped. If you still have questions about and run-on sentences, comma splices, fused sentences, run-on sentences, same concept, please let me know. I'm glad to brush up on that some more. If any of you all want a little one-on-one or small group collaborate session, I know y'all are in class at different times and all that, let me know and I'll do my best to try to get that on the schedule. So I'm going to leave it there. This video has gotten way longer than I meant for it to. Sorry about that. So I'll stop it here. As always, if you have questions or need help, please get in touch. Send me an email. Call me, come by, whatever you need to do. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. I hope some of y'all get some rest. I hope all of you get rest, but some of you seem a lot more over than the others. So you know who you are. So try to get some rest out there. If you need help from me, you know where to find me. And I will be back with another video for you next week. Take care.